Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products. Our learners gain in-depth knowledge and practical skills, empowering them to translate biomedical research into real-world applications. Through our program, we aim to foster a new generation of experts who will drive advancements in healthcare. Join us at Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Together, we can make a significant impact on healthcare and public health. Learn, earn, and contribute to a healthier future. Be a part of the change. Transform knowledge into action with Actuate Biomedicine. Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products. Our learners gain in-depth knowledge and practical skills, empowering them to translate biomedical research into real-world applications. Through our program, we aim to foster a new generation of experts who will drive advancements in healthcare. Join us at Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Together, we can make a significant impact on healthcare and public health. Learn, earn, and contribute to a healthier future. Be a part of the change. Transform knowledge into action with Actuate Biomedicine. Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include
All right, let's get started. I don't know if I don't know. Let's get started. Can you hear me?
I don't see Grace here yet, so let me try getting her.
Oh, Grace is not here.
Yeah.
All right, and who is this? Who is the topic master today?
Hello,
Hello.
can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes, you can hear you. Who is speaking?
David.
David Dowdy Mike, is it?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. David. Last time we talked about King David. That's the same King David. Of course, King David is only one King David. Yeah, he
I
brought
can
down
be one.
Goliath. Yeah?
I can be one.
No, you already are one. Why do you say that you're not King David? You're the one who brought down Mr. Goliath himself for all of us. You know what you use? You use that slingshot with just one tiny pebble to bring down Mr. Goliath. So what you want to do is believe that you are King David. And of course, as soon as you believe that, because you already believe it, you know that there's no Goliath who can come upon your way. Even if he has the muscles of an ox. Because you're much greater than an ox. Right?
Yeah.
That is what King David is all about.
I guess I'll stand up to my role now.
Precisely. Now for you, as you are ordained as a king, coronated, King David. Yes. You see, what happened with David is that people were not believing that he could do that. Even Saul himself told him, do not expose yourself to that giant. He said, it's a Philistine. He's gonna eviscerate you. Eviscerate means that tearing down your abdomen, and your intestines will be flowing around everywhere. But none of that happened. How wrong were they? Because King David only needs a slingshot and a pebble and a lot of faith, abundance of faith. How many kilos of faith do you need for you to execute such a mission? How many? I would say that you need several kilograms, maybe several tons of faith. Faith itself, believe in yourself, and you're going to knock down any Goliath. Okay? So that's the message there. That the Goliath, you think, can eviscerate you because he has got the strength of an ox. If you have absolute faith, you will get to aim at him even where it matters, knock him down. So I think Grace today is having what's called the Router phenomenon. You know, Router eats electricity at night. When all the children go to sleep, he just cannibalizes on electrical energy, such that people cannot communicate with one another when they wake up. So when you see yourself getting blackout, it's somebody eating electrical energy. Yeah. Can you believe that? Now, because Grace is not here, today we are talking about OCS, Open Conference System. Open Conference System. So King David is going to lead us about Open Conference System. Open Conference System is part of the Public Knowledge Project, PKP. And so why we are interested in Open Conference System, as we talked about PKP last week, is that we want to find a good marital relationship between PKP and the blockchain. But the blockchain we are talking about is the Actuate token itself. How can we use the Actuate token to incentivize publishing? That is what we talked about last week. Now we say, how can we use the Actuate token to incentivize conferencing? Conferencing is precisely what we are doing this December in the summit. So conferences, to explain to you what this is all about, there are three types of gatherings. Let's say three types of. One type of gathering is known as a conference. What is a conference? A conference is where peers meet together to exchange ideas in face-to-face formats. Where your friends, your colleagues, if you're studying biology, where you meet with all the other biologists and you talk together about things in biology. Okay, and so this is about sharing ideas. So Open Conference System was initially created with that in mind. How do we get all our professionals gathering together? How do we automate that process? Organizing gatherings. Because organizing gatherings is not as easy as you might think, but then the Open Conference System, its work is to organize professional gatherings. See, using a software to organize a professional gathering. Now, we have other things called summits. A summit is not necessarily a meeting of professionals, but a summit is a meeting of one idea to work on that idea. That means that they can be multidisciplinary professionals of different disciplines getting together to work on one specific idea. That's called a summit. Summits usually organized either by idea groups. You could say, like, if you're creating a new product and then you want to understand it, you invite multiple professionals together in a common gathering. So this is summits are highly interdisciplinary, because they're not just academic people coming to talk about academic things. Summits have got real practical application, formation of relationships of meaning. Even enterprises and organizations come out of summits. So summits are kind of experiential spaces where people come to experience one another in the service of creating something new. That something new is at the summit. For all of you, you know the meaning of the word summit, being at the top of it all. It's being at the top. So is our summit. Our summit has the question, how do we use decentralized finance of the blockchain and artificial intelligence to actuate global health and human development? So the summit is expected to create ways of getting to that point where we have access to health and human development, so that people have access to health and people have access to social development. See, that's a big distinction between a conference and a summit. Then we have other things called conventions. A convention is a show, it's a showcase where people come to exhibit their things. Conventions have just exhibition alone. So like if you go to the ASK show, that Agricultural Society of Kenya show, you don't have anyone giving speeches, they are making presentation. People have got individual small areas where they bring their things to show. And of course, also that needs organization. So it helps people to buy specific spaces where they can exhibit their products. Those mainly usually are media convention exhibitions, and in French they are known as expose. Expose is the same thing. So people have found that it's not useful to just have a conference just by itself, although having just conferences to discuss the latest advances in a particular discipline is good. But then to have summits, and for us in Actuate Foundation, we believe in summit because we want to make sure we celebrate the ideas as they're coming up and we actually formulate them. And these ideas form organizations and partnership of meaning. And then we have you combine that with exhibitions. So there's no point of having people to do workshops without exhibition. Exhibition is show and tell. Tell you something, show and tell is similar to the catwalk. You know the catwalk for the fashion industry, where you have ladies and models, the supermodels walking along the carpet. So that usually is a show. But see, the fashion industry understands that very well. So a summit also contains exhibitions, which is what you're going to be having. We have lots of exhibitors coming down in our summit in December. So the summit also has got exhibitors. And so there'll be show and tell, where people, as they are creating that future, then they are showing to one another what they are creating in their own spaces at home. They can bring it and tell people, this is what we are creating. And this is how it's going to help us in the future. Okay, so King David, welcome. The floor is yours. Speak to us about OCS. Welcome, King David.
Thank you. So today's topic is exploring the open conference system and Actuate token. In the realm of academic and professional conferences, the need for innovative solutions that enhance accessibility, engagement, and knowledge sharing has become increasingly apparent. This is where the open conference system and the Actuate token come into play. Together, they will transform how conferences operate, ensuring a more inclusive and efficient experience for all participants. What is the open conference system? The open conference system is an open source platform designed to facilitate the management of scholarly conferences. It will streamline the entire conference process from submissions and peer reviews to registration and scheduling. By leveraging this system, conference organizers will be able to create an efficient and transparent workflow that enhances the overall experience for attendees, presenters, and sponsors. One of the key features of the OCS is its friendly interface. It will allow organizers to easily manage submissions, review processes, and participant registrations without the burden of complex technical requirements. This accessibility will encourage more organizations to host conferences, ultimately expanding opportunities for knowledge exchange across various fields. Moreover, the open conference system will facilitate better communication among participants. Through integrated messaging and notification systems, attendees will stay informed about important updates, session schedules, and networking opportunities. This will foster a collaboration and collaborative atmosphere where participants can engage more meaningfully with each other. Introducing the Actuate token. The Actuate token is a revolutionary digital asset.
So we lost him. King Mikey,
and
we have
other
lost
incentives, knowledge sharing and collaboration.
We lost your sentence when you start talking about Actuate token.
Once more.
Yeah,
introducing
go Actuate token, introducing Actuate token. Yeah.
Introducing the Actuate token. The Actuate token is a revolutionary digital asset designed to enhance participation and engagement in conferences and other collaborative endeavors. Built on blockchain technology, it will serve as a utility token that incentivizes knowledge sharing and collaboration among participants. With the Actuate token, attendees will be rewarded for their contributions, whether through submitting research, attending sessions, or engaging in discussions. This gamification aspect will motivate participants to take an active role in the conference, enriching the overall experience for everyone involved. Additionally, the Actuate token will streamline transactions within the conference ecosystem for purchasing tickets, accessing inclusive content to making donations, and paying for merchandise. Participants will benefit from a seamless payment process. This will simplify financial interactions, ensuring that the focus remains on the conference experience rather than the logistical concerns. Synergy between Open Conference System and Actuate token. The combination of the Open Conference System and the Actuate token will revolutionize the conference landscape. Organizers will gain access to a robust platform for managing events, while participants will enjoy a more engaging and rewarding experience. The Open Conference System will provide the framework needed to manage the conference effectively, while the Actuate token will drive participant engagement through incentives. Together, they will create an ecosystem where knowledge sharing is encouraged, collaboration is rewarded, and participants feel valued. Conclusion. As we move towards a future where technology plays an increasingly vital role in our professional lives, the Open Conference System and the Actuate token will be at the forefront of this transformation. By enhancing accessibility, communication, and engagement, they will ensure that conferences become more inclusive and impactful. The opportunities for collaboration and knowledge sharing will expand, paving the way for innovative ideas and solutions that can address global challenges. In this evolving landscape, we will embrace this advancement, fostering a community where knowledge flows freely and everyone has the chance to contribute and learn. The synergy between the Open Conference System and Actuate token will not only improve the conference experience, but also inspire a new generation of thinkers and innovators. Hashtags. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, King David. I knew it. You are the king, no doubt. So you have seen what's going on. And I think this thing has been hidden from the view of the people in Africa. Because if you ask people in many places in Africa, what is the Open Conference System, they have never heard of it. Although Open Conference System has been here with us since way back in 2007. It's not new. Why don't we know about it? As I have told you before, these things are hidden from our consciousness. They are hidden in plain sight. That's a veil that they were talking about in the Holy Scriptures. It's a veil that prevents you from seeing the Holy of Holies. I think that's the veil that protects the Holy of Holies in that temple. Temple of Solomon. By the way, King David was trying to build a temple, but he couldn't build it. So his son Solomon built a temple, but he put a veil. Now, do you understand what's the veil, Mr. David, which was built by? The veil in the temple that was built by your son is to divide it's access. So if for those people who are not worthy, that's what the idea. For those people who are not worthy, they cannot go to the Holy of Holies. And the worthy person who was allowed to go there was the highest priest. So they call it high priest. Mm-hmm. High priest. So I just want you to work with me in this example, how this works. We have high priests of knowledge. Yeah, they are self-ordained high priests. And these high priests, they live in what they call the bastions of knowledge. These are called the universities, particularly say in the Western world, in Europe and United States. And they're the ones who publish articles and they hold conferences, these scholarly conferences, since you heard that. So these are high scholars. They're like the priests of knowledge. So their work is to officiate in the ceremony of knowledge sharing. They're the only ones who are allowed to go there and execute the holy sacrifice. Just it. You know, in the holy temple, there was a place called the Master Seat. Okay, there were several things. There was the tabernacle, and then there was the Master Seat. The Master Seat, the holy priest used to go there and sprinkle blood of livestock, maybe bulls or goats, so that people can receive redemption from God Almighty. So at the Holy of Holies, you were able to speak with God Almighty. So this is a very, very sacred space. And so that sprinkling of blood was the sacrifice itself that the gods needed so that they can actually commune with the people. So only one person could go in there. And today, when it comes to the temple of knowledge, see the temples of knowledge, only a few people are admitted there. For example, we have all these academic organizations like Harvard University, MIT, Oxford, Cambridge. Then only a few people are admitted into such places. And then and then when they call one another for conferences, the rest of the people are not included because not only are they outside, not only are they in the second level of the temple, they are not even in the temple, they're outside the temple. Because the second level of the temple, there was this other place that was generic, that the other priest, second level priests could go there. And then outside there was the place for the Gentiles. Yeah, the Gentiles. That's the others who are not clean enough to get into that place called the Holy of Holies. So, and in fact, that high priest used to go there. But guess what happened? Now follow me. Now in the new covenant, what happened? That what did you call it? The curtain of the temple broke down from the top. It got torn from the top all the way to the bottom. You know that we are told that by Matthew and Luke. And when the curtain of the temple, and that is what we are calling the veil. This veil that was making that place mysterious, where you have the tabernacle and the holy and the master seat. That veil broke down, or it got separated, such that ordinary folks can actually see the Holy of Holies by themselves. Okay, you see that? So this is the same thing that's happening. This process, that process that is described in the Holy Scripture, is happening here every single day. That human beings are susceptible to creating a holy of holies where only a few people will become ordained high priests and they'll be officiating for everybody else. They're the ones who are communing with the divine. Okay, they're the ones, and so they appoint them. These are self-appointed holy priests. And you see, we have self-appointed holy priests of knowledge. We have self-appointed holy priests of finance. Okay, so in finance, we have the same thing. We have in centralized finance, the people who do the high finance, we are the high priest of finance. So decentralized finance tears down that veil completely, all the way from the bottom to the top. So that, say, on the blockchain, you have direct access to the inner sanctum, the holy of holies, yourself. Okay, so the temple that was built by Solomon, now it's the veil of the temple gets torn down from the top to bottom, and you have access to them. Now we are talking about the temple of knowledge. And you see, that temple of knowledge goes closely with the temple of finance, because this one is commensurate with the other. They have this type of neck-to-neck relationship, or tandem. So finance and knowledge go together in tandem. When you move, I move. When money moves, knowledge moves. When knowledge moves, money moves. Just like tango. Have you ever seen the dance of tango? Okay, for all those who have not seen tango, maybe you have seen Kizuba. Kizuba is this dance also by Portuguese, the tango, Portuguese type, or even salsa. Salsa, but tango is a step game where it's a step dance where when he moves, she moves. When she moves, he moves. So, and it takes two to tango. So money and knowledge move like that. So when you move, when I move, you move. When she moves, I move. And so we have for I think for the time immemorial, ever since when, over the first 5,000 years of life until today, we have developed systems of centralized knowledge with temples of knowledge, and we have systems of centralized finance. So the public knowledge project, they recognize this problem way back when, in 2007. And they said, let us make knowledge, or the temple of knowledge, open access to all. Everybody can share their knowledge. How about that? Everybody has access to the Holy of Holies, not just a few who has chosen themselves, and they consider themselves the chosen people, the chosen ones. And I'm telling you, they are convinced that they are the chosen ones. So everybody else does not matter. Okay? But that is supremely dangerous. That's what creates all these problems. So then, and of course, they pretend that they know everything, or they have the solutions to all the problems that we have in this world by themselves. And their work is to prescribe solutions to all of us. So whatever we are implementing there in Africa, are prescription from the people in the temple of knowledge. I can tell you, see, like the finance bill, the government was trying to implement came from the IMF. Those are the people who sit in the Holy of Holies, temple of finance, temple of knowledge. And things like rollback malaria program, which are for fighting malaria, even say the global health program, all these things are created in the temples of knowledge, either in Boston, New York City, through the United Nations, or in Europe, in Geneva, Switzerland. So, and it means that people do not, like, let's say, ordinary folks who, let's call them the laymen, they're not actually lay people. They are people like yourself and myself, cannot contribute to that system, to the knowledge. So the knowledge to solve our own problem, we cannot contribute it because it is hidden under the veil, behind the veil. But there's no veil. That veil is imaginary. Can you believe that? It was there before, let's say, before the information system came, before we got the internet, that veil was real. But now we have no reason, absolutely no reason. After the internet has been here for 30 years, 30 years, 30, I am not kidding. After the internet has been with us for 30 years, we have no reason to pretend or even to say, to excuse, to say, okay, we don't have access because the people are working everywhere. It's called Public Knowledge Project. So it helps to tear down that veil of the temple so you can get access to the inner sanctum of knowledge. And then what are you going to do when you get there? It's a question. Now that we've got love, what are we going to do with it? That's another thing that human beings, when they are gifted something just by grace, because that's what has happened, PKP came into us by grace, because there's some people who are working on it, then what are we going to get? What are you going to do about it? We can do one of three things. We can get perplexed. Perplexity is when you look at something, like if you stare at headlights of a coming car and then you get bedazzled. We get bedazzled. That means that we can't see because the whole thing is shining so bright that we get drowned in a glare. That is what happens to a lot of people. And you can see when the internet came, we got bedazzled by it. And when we are bedazzled, we are not even able to use it because we cannot see what it is all about. We have not understood what the internet is all about. And I'm very serious about this. This is why you would find, say, even at the universities, people are not using the internet because they're just bedazzled. That is called a condition of perplexity. Perplexity comes in where you just like I said, if you walk in front of headlights, the beams of headlights, and then you look straight to the headlights, there's too much light. Remember, light is supposed to help you see, but the light is so concentrated, such high intensity, that instead of seeing, you become blinded by it. So we are blinded by the internet. And when people are blinded, they start groping in that blindness. They cannot, instead of using the internet the right way, they end up using it for a lot of other nonsensical type of work. Like yelling at one another, insulting one another, which is not why the internet was made, or typing politics. But all these now are people in the real thing, the work they are doing, say like in academic organizations, say like Kenyatta University, or maybe say at Nairobi University, you find out what people are doing with the internet there, except gossip, is nothing. Is that true or not? People on Facebook doing all their daily gossip, daily dose of gossip. But when you ask them, are you publishing your work? Are you organizing conferences through the internet? No, they're not doing it. You know why? Because we are bedazzled by the internet. We are in a state of perplexity. Other people to try and justify, rationalize, it's not justification, it's not rationalization. To rationalize the state of perplexity, say that the internet is evil. They start complaining about people in the internet stealing your identities and all that, blah, blah, blah. And they say all kinds of negative things about the internet. And other people actually never use it at all. So you have three types of outcome. Unless all those things about perplexities, getting bedazzled, and saying bad things about the internet does not take away the power of the internet to tear down that veil. For example, if the veil was torn down, let's say at Solomon's temple, so that everybody can gain access to the Holy of Holies all by himself, you don't need to go to that high priest to say, okay, give me access to the Holy of Holies. But and then you need approval. You don't need approval from anyone because the temple is down. So because these technologies are here, one final thing that was remaining to be implemented since 2007 was how people now actually get incentivized to participate in the Holy of Holies. And that's when Actuate token comes in. And you see, that's the blockchain. Blockchain came just 1 year later in 2008. That's when Satoshi Nakamoto announced the one-to-one peer system, which is called Bitcoin. Even then, although Bitcoin now has been with us for 14 years, which gives us access to the Holy of Holies of Finance. So the Temple of Finance, let's say that the curtain in the Temple of Finance has also been torn down all the way down to the bottom. You see, there's so much hesitation. And of course, the first thing is perplexity. So many people are perplexed. They are being dazzled by ideas. They are like staring at beams of headlights and they cannot see. So they are blinded to the idea that the Holy of Holies for the finance has been left wide open. Now we have open access, not only to the Temple of Knowledge, but we have open access to the Temple of Finance. I'm talking about the inner sancta. And now that is in your phone, on your phone, directly on your phone, through your wallet. We have talked about that many, many times. So the wallet becomes the gateway. Now, organizing conferences used to look like an esoteric undertaking. You see, esoteric means it's like an occult. Occult is some hidden science, hidden, done by a few, because it is what was happening behind the veil of the Temple of Knowledge. That's what esoteric means. So it was looking like an esoteric science. Like you heard people saying they're going for a professional conference, or say they're going to the United Nations for their meetings, which is called the United Nations General Assembly. It sounds very highly esoteric. And so if you now bring it down even into colleges and universities, such that our people have not been able to organize meaningful meetings, okay? Because it looks highly esoteric. Let me tell you, there's nothing esoteric about it. All it has is like everything else. So there's nothing occult about it, because occult means with some hidden ways of doing it. So what OCS has done is to lay bare that process, and that's what they're calling the workflow. How do you work a conference? How do you get a conference from the beginning? Think about it. And then how do you schedule it line by line? How do you start accepting submissions? How do you communicate with the people who are going to become presenters? How do you create workshops? Now, in this summit we are doing this year, we have not used the OCS for the December summit, but beginning next year, we're going to use the OCS itself. Why we don't use OCS is because in the beginning, this summit of us we're doing, it just happened upon us, and we were just saying, how do we tell people about Actuate? And so everything has just come step by step. But we want to use, we're using all those steps, the workflow processes in the OCS, and you're going to see those workflow processes in OCS in their full flower, full blossom in 2025, because you're going to be using the OCS. And in that, during that time, we shall have integrated the Actuate token itself. And so what we're going to be working on is building the application programming interface called API to allow us now to marry the Actuate token with the PKP, as we have been talking about. So the PKP, so we can add the Actuate token to the OJS, the Open Journal System, and to the Open Conference System as well. Now that your token now gives you power to do everything. Even as now we're talking about the workshops, but we are going to do this manually before we go to the API. That people participating in workshops, people submitting articles, people presenting posters, they're all going to receive rewards in Actuate token itself. And so now we want to formalize that, where we have the API for Actuate, which is going to be feeding. Now the API, what it does is to take the Actuate token from its own smart contract and then direct it into the OCS. And so all the submissions and all the interactions, let's say all the interactions in OCS, that's in the public knowledge project, get rewarded with Actuate token automatically. See? So that's what it is. And you see, that's what we are saying now. The two veils that have, you know, that are closing, the holy of holies for the money. You see, the temple for the money and the knowledge temple becomes joined into one. And of course, it means that with Actuate token, that is now breaking down the veil for the money temple, and then the PKP breaking down the knowledge temple, the veil, and then it all becomes widely open, becomes just an open. That's why this place called open conference system. Open conference system. It is not hidden in a veil. Yes. So for you to understand that concept of veil, which is discussed a lot I think the Holy Bible, in the Old Testament, when we're talking about the Solomon's temple, and also in the New Testament, that is a symbolic. It's not a literal meaning. It's a symbolic interpretation of what happens in your consciousness. Paul himself called that mystery. 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 You need to be elevated in your consciousness for you to understand how those things work. So that's consciousness elevation, expansion of consciousness. It doesn't happen when you're fighting the problems of every day, like you're getting blackouts and all that stuff. Then you get distracted. So focus so you can understand how to solve this mystery. There's nothing mysterious about it. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing occult, as I say. There's nothing hidden. It's the same work processes, but they are mystified. They are mystified. Mystified, that means they are kept mysterious. And I can tell you that's what explains what Hernando de Soto was calling the mystery of capital. Why capitalism? Why? I think we discussed that yesterday earlier, but why capitalism triumphs in the West and fails everywhere else? So capitalism fails because we believe we are kept at a certain veil that we cannot go through. Now that veil has been broken down, way down from the top to the bottom. So that's what I would like to add in. So you see how King David, this is totally aligned with your work as the father of King Solomon, who wanted to build a big temple. But when Solomon put up that temple, he created those 3, 4, there are 3 different divisions on the temple, that there was a veil that inhibited people from gaining access to the Holy of Holies. Remember again, they were not physical temples. It was a symbolic explanation of what goes on in your own consciousness. Okay? Symbolic representation of what goes on in your own consciousness. That you might believe there's something mysterious out there because you just believe. The only thing to make it go away is to unbelieve, to say there's nothing stopping you. And you can see now this way, we use the blockchain like we mean it. Let's not get bedazzled by the technology. Let us not get bedazzled. We get perplexed. Let us not start and look at all these bedazzling technologies and say, oh my goodness, it's so bright in here, I can't see. Okay? Oh my goodness, it is so bright in here, I can't see. Then we get blinded, which is what has happened. We have been blinded all the past 30 years of the internet, and we are not able to see. We are not able to see its value or its blessings. The blessings of the internet are kind of hidden from us, not by anybody, but by its brilliance. See? The blessings of the internet are hidden to us by its brilliance because we got bedazzled, we got perplexed. So what I'm saying, let us get out of that perplexity. We snap out of that, snapping out of that perplexity is what we are calling actuating. Let us get actuated out of perplexity, of bedazzlement by the brilliance of the internet. All right. Thank you so much. I hope has Grace been able to join us?
I know
Hello,
she
Grace.
hasn't.
Wow, I think she has been put out by lack of electricity.
Yeah, so I think thank you very much Daktari, for your comments, and thank you very much, David, for taking us through the topic for today. And because we have another session in the next few minutes, I'm going to take a few minutes to remind everyone about the summit. We still have the summit coming up in December at the Kenyatta University from 3rd to 6th of December. And if you haven't signed
Hello,
up,
Barbara.
yes.
Hi, Bob. Hey, Grace.
Oh,
How are
hello,
you?
Daktari. Can you hear me?
Yes. What happened?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Today I was in the I'm from Cancer.
Yeah.
I underestimated that I would be in my house by 7 p.m. But unfortunately, I was caught up by traffic.
Okay. Okay, we
Yeah, sorry
understand.
about that.
We have been good talking about OCS, Open Conference System, and
Okay.
to summarize, King David, of course, gave us a very important lesson. But I was saying that the Open Conference System just cuts down the curtain to gain access to the temple of knowledge, the Holy of Holies. Okay, so is Actuate gives access to the temple of money, the Holy of Holies, the inner sanctum. So when you marry those together, what a beautiful wedding. Beautiful wedding. And so the wedding bells are ringing. And for you guys, let us attend the wedding. And as I said, let us not get bedazzled by the brilliance on the internet, because that's what's been happening. We get bedazzled by the brilliance on the internet that we cannot see its blessings. We are not able to receive the blessings of the internet because we are bedazzled by its brilliance. Okay? Yes. So, thank you, Grace. Maybe we'll talk about what did you learn from KEMSA? KEMSA is Kenya Medical Supplies.
Yes.
You're breaking up. Oh, yeah, your internet is so bad. So we'll talk about this.
Okay.
So what? Yeah, because we didn't hear anything you said there. You said a sentence, but it all came muffled up. Okay, thank you. So Barbara, so let's summarize what you're saying, Barbara.
Okay, I was just reminding everyone about the summit and for them to sign up as either attendees or also invite sponsors to come and exhibit at the summit.
Okay. So I think if there's no news, and then another question. But really, the message here today is that we have the technologies. Use them. Let us use them. Let us use them. Of course, you begin by buying Actuate tokens themselves and creating liquidity pools. These things are going to, but do not get bedazzled, okay? Because that's what's going on now. Even if we bring Actuate token, people are not. We tell them about liquidity pools, they're still not doing it. That is known as a state of perplexity. Are you of them that go into perplexity and then they go down to perdition? And you have to say, we are not of them that go back to perdition, that draw back to perdition. That's what it is. We are not of them that draw back to perdition. Yeah, you don't want to be overcome by perplexity. All right. So get Actuate token, create liquidity pools, such that even by the time, but again, I can tell you, by the time the summit comes along, you'll be asking, oh, why did I not create those liquidity pools? Because the summit is global and is gaining a lot of interest all over the world. Okay, so I think we can stop there so that we can prepare for the next session. All right, anything, Grace? So Chris can post, you can post the form, the attendance form.
I think I have posted the attendance form because to everyone, this is a learn to earn program and you can sign up and fill the attendance form. And then after you're done, feel free to leave because we have another session for the African women in DeFi at exactly 8 p.m. So see you on the
Alright.
other side.
Bye now.